Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something that's rapidly becoming a fixture in our lives. Mobile wallets.
That's right.
We've got some really interesting information here that looks at where this global market stands right now and maybe more importantly where it's heading over the next, say, 10 years. Get ready for some surprising numbers.
Absolutely. The data, well, it paints a pretty clear picture of a market just undergoing massive expansion. It really reflects a fundamental shift in how we handle our money and, interact with businesses.
Okay, let's dive right in then. Our sources estimate the global mobile wallet market to be a substantial USD 624.5 million in 2025.
Which is already a big number.
Exactly, already significant. But here's where it gets truly eye-opening. By 2033, projections show this market exploding to, get this, USD 5,998.60 million.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a compound annual growth rate, or, the average yearly growth, if the rate stayed consistent of a whopping 29.20% starting from 2025.
That's incredible growth.
It's like we're seeing a digital financial revolution unfolding right there on our smartphones.
And what's fascinating is that these projections are grounded in pretty recent data. The base year for these calculations is 2024, and we have historical figures stretching back to 2021.
Right.
So that gives us a pretty solid foundation for understanding this projected leap forward to 2033.
So this isn't just a minor uptick, it's a major transformation in how we pay, how we manage our money. To really understand the scale and the dynamics at play, our information breaks this down by different regions around the world. Where's the center of this activity right now?
Well, currently, Asia-Pacific, or APAC, holds the largest piece of the pie. In 2025, this region is expected to account for over 37% of the global mobile wallet revenue.
Over a third.
Yeah, which translates to a market size of USD 2,821.07 million. A key factor here is definitely the early adoption and strong government support for digital infrastructure, especially in countries like China.
What?
They, in many ways, sort of leapfrogged traditional banking systems,
Yeah.
which created fertile ground for mobile wallet innovation and, well, widespread use.
And it's not just that they're the biggest now, but they're also anticipated to grow the fastest, right? What's driving that?
Precisely. APAC is projected to have the highest regional CAGR, that's compound annual growth rate, at 31.5% between 2025 and 2033.
Okay.
And this rapid growth is fueled by several key countries within the region.
Let's zoom in on some of those specific countries then. What does the data tell us?
Well, China, for instance, is just a massive driver. It's got a projected market size of USD 1,184.85 million in 2025 and a CAGR of 31.0%.
Still huge growth.
Definitely. Then you have Japan with the USD 389.31 million market and a 30.0% CAGR, and South Korea at USD 338.53 million with a 30.6% CAGR. These are economies where digital integration is, well, it's deeply ingrained.
India is also a huge market, right, with significant mobile adoption. How do they figure into this?
Indeed. India is looking at a USD 282.11 million market in 2025 and a very impressive CAGR of 33.4%.
Wow, even higher.
Yeah, the widespread adoption of UPI, that real-time payment system, has been a major catalyst there. We also see strong growth in other APAC countries like Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, and the entire Southeast Asia region.
Right.
Each with KGRs exceeding 30%. It really highlights the digital-first approach in, many of these economies.
It really sounds like APAC is the engine room of the global mobile wallet market right now. Okay, shifting gears a bit. What about the second largest market, North America?
North America is projected to hold over 29% of the global revenue in 2025, with a market size of USD 2,211.11 million.
Still very significant.
Oh, yeah. Their growth rate is also substantial, with a CAGR of 26.8% from 2025 to 2033, which indicates a strong and sustained adoption trend.
And the United States is the dominant force there, I assume.
Absolutely. The United States is expected to have a market size of USD 1744.56 million in 2025, with a CAGR of 26.6%. Canada and Mexico are also contributing significantly, with CAGRs of 27.6% and 27.3% respectively. So while perhaps not quite as rapid as some APAC countries, it still represents significant year-on-year growth.
Okay, so APAC is leading in both size and growth rate, North America a solid second. What about Europe's role in all of this?
Europe also holds a significant share, around 24% of the global revenue in 2025. That puts its market size at USD 1829.88 million.
And the growth.
The projected CGR for Europe is a healthy 27.8% from 2025 to 2033, so growing strongly as well.
Are there any particular countries in Europe that are really driving this forward?
Yeah, the United Kingdom and Germany are key players. They have market sizes of USD 307.42 million and USD 362.32 million, respectively, and both with robust KGRs, around 28%.
Hmm.
Russia, France, and Spain also have significant market presence. Interestingly, Italy's projected CGR is notably lower in our sources.
Oh, really? Why might that be?
Well, it could be due to various factors, maybe slower digital adoption rates or perhaps different consumer preferences compared to its neighbors. It's something the data points out.
That's a fascinating little detail.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's look at the other regions. South America seems to have a pretty strong growth rate projected as well.
It does. South America is expected to hold more than 3.8% of the global revenue in 2025, putting its market size at USD 289.73 million. And it has a compelling CGR of 30.0% from 2025 to 2033.
30%, so right up there with APAC in terms of growth speed.
Pretty much. Brazil and Argentina are the largest markets within the region, showing a really strong appetite for digital payment solutions.
What about the Middle East and Africa? How do they fit in?
The Middle East has a market share of around 4.0% in 2025, with a size of USD 304.98 million and a CGR of 29.6%. So again, strong growth.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia and the UAE are really leading the charge there. Africa, well, starting from a smaller base, with a market share of around 2.2% in 2025 and a size of USD 167.74 million.
Right.
It still shows significant growth potential with a CGR of 29.9%. South Africa and Nigeria are at the forefront there. It really indicates a growing shift towards digital transactions in these regions, too.
So it's crystal clear that globally, mobile wallets are on this strong upward trajectory, just with different speeds and scales of adoption in various parts of the world.
Exactly.
Now, our sources also break down the market by how these mobile wallets are actually being used. What are the main categories we're seeing?
We primarily see two main types, proximity and remote. Proximity mobile wallets are used for those in-person, contactless transactions.
Okay.
Think about tapping your phone at a payment terminal or maybe scanning a QR code at a store. These often rely on technologies like near-field communication or NFC.
Right, NFC.
Yeah, which allows devices to communicate wirelessly when they're, really close together.
So that's the kind of payment you'd use for your morning coffee or grabbing groceries in a physical store, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Our sources suggest that proximity payments are likely to maintain a dominant share of the market. And that's just due to their increasing use in everyday scenarios, retail, transportation, like metro systems and buses, essentially replacing physical cash and cards for those routine purchases. Countries like Japan with their Suica cards that you can link to phones, or India with its widespread UPI QR code system.
Yeah, you see those everywhere.
And Singapore with NetsPay are great examples of how embedded these systems have become in daily life.
That makes sense. It's probably the most frequent touch point for many consumers right now. But what about remote mobile wallets? How are those being used?
Right. So the remote category is actually highlighted as the fastest growing segment.
Faster growing. Okay.
Yeah. This is really driven by the massive increase in online transactions, in-app purchases, and also peer-to-peer or P2P transfers. The boom in e-commerce platforms like, Amazon, Alibaba, Flipkart has significantly fueled this. People increasingly opt for the convenience and speed of mobile wallets for their online shopping.
And those apps that let you send money to friends or like Split a Bill, PayPal, Venmo, Google Pay, they fall into this remote category as well, right?
Absolutely. The ease of sending money to friends and family directly through these apps, plus the growing trend of cross-border digital remittances.
Sending money internationally.
Exactly. People sending money to family in other countries that's powering this segment's rapid expansion. Mobile wallets offer a, often more cost-effective and quicker alternative to traditional methods for international money transfers.
So while physically tapping our phones to pay might be the most common thing we see, the sort of behind-the-scenes world of online and P2P mobile payments is where we're seeing the most dynamic growth.
That's a good way to put it.
Now, let's think about where these mobile wallet transactions are actually happening. What are the key application areas driving this market?
Well, retail and e-commerce currently hold the largest share in terms of where mobile wallets are being used. The advantages for both physical stores and online businesses are pretty significant. Well, enabling cashless and contactless payments obviously streamlines transactions, but it also allows for better integration with digital marketing, enhanced customer data collection to understand buying habits,
Right, the data as.
and the implementation of loyalty programs. Plus, businesses can often see reduced processing costs and faster checkout times, which is always a plus.
It really creates a more seamless experience for, well, for everyone involved, the buyer and the seller. What other sectors are seeing a big uptake in mobile wallet usage?
The banking sector is experiencing really rapid growth in mobile wallet adoption. This is closely linked to the increasing popularity of digital banking services generally, a wider range of mobile-based financial solutions,
Hmm.
and also those government initiatives we mentioned, pushing for more cashless economies, the emergence of neobanks, those digital-only banks, and strategic partnerships between traditional banks and fintech companies are also major contributors.
So banks are getting involved directly.
Definitely. We're seeing bank-backed digital wallets gaining significant traction in various regions, like Zelle in the US, Paytm in India, and WeChat Pay in China. It demonstrates how established financial institutions are adapting to this shift.
So the traditional banking world isn't standing still. They're actively embracing and sort of integrating with this mobile-first approach.
Hmm.
Are there other notable areas where we're seeing increased mobile wallet usage?
Yes, definitely. We're seeing more and more adoption in entertainment, maybe purchasing tickets for events or making in-app purchases in games. Transportation is another key area.
Right, beyond just transit fares.
Yeah, going beyond just public transit fares, but also for ride-sharing services. Restaurants are increasingly accepting mobile wallet payments too. And then there's a broad category we could just call others,
Okay.
which includes things like paying for parking, accessing loyalty rewards, or even potentially integrating with digital identity systems down the line. Lots of possibilities there.
It really feels like mobile wallets are becoming less of a niche payment method and more of a universal tool for, well, all sorts of transactions. What are the fundamental forces, the big drivers behind this massive growth we're seeing?
Our sources point to several key market drivers. First and foremost is the ever-increasing penetration of smartphones globally.
Makes sense.
As more people have access to these powerful devices, the potential user base for mobile wallet services naturally expands. It's really the essential hardware foundation.
That makes perfect sense. The more smartphones out there, the more opportunities for mobile wallet usage. What's another major factor fueling this growth?
The continued boom of e-commerce is another incredibly significant driver, as we touched on earlier.
Right.
As more and more of our shopping moves online, the convenience and, frankly, the efficiency of using a mobile wallet for these digital purchases become increasingly appealing. It just simplifies the online checkout process.
And it sounds like governments in many parts of the world are also playing a role kind of encouraging this shift.
Exactly. Favorable government initiatives aimed at promoting digital payments are a crucial driver in many regions. These can take various forms, from regulatory frameworks that support digital transactions to public awareness campaigns
Hmm.
that encourage both consumers and businesses to adopt these methods. In some cases, governments are even actively incentivizing digital payments.
Okay, so we have strong technological tailwinds, economic ones with e-commerce, and even governmental pushes moving this market forward. But are there any potential obstacles or challenges that could, slow this growth down?
Yes, our sources also highlight some market restraints. Cyber threats and the potential for fraud are significant concerns.
Always a worry with digital money.
Absolutely. These can hinder market growth if not effectively addressed.
Yeah.
Maintaining consumer trust in the security of these digital payment methods is absolutely critical.
And trust is key. What's the other main restraint identified?
Stringent financial regulations in certain regions can also present challenges to the widespread adoption or rollout of mobile wallets. Navigating these complex regulations and ensuring full compliance can be a significant undertaking for the service providers.
Okay. So ensuring security and navigating that regulatory landscape are the main hurdles the industry needs to keep overcoming. Now, looking a bit into the future, what are some of the key trends that are expected to shape how mobile wallets evolve?
We're seeing a couple of really interesting trends emerging. One is the increasing integration of advanced technologies like artificial intelligence, AI, and blockchain into mobile wallet platforms.
AI and blockchain. How would that work?
Well, AI can be used to enhance security features, maybe personalize user experiences, and even provide more intelligent financial management tools right within the wallet.
Okay.
Blockchain technology, on the other hand, holds the potential to offer even more secure and perhaps more transparent transaction methods. Still early days for some of that, but the potential is there.
That sounds like it could lead to some really sophisticated and hopefully user-friendly features down the line. What's another key trend to watch?
The growth in peer-to-peer P2P payments is expected to continue its strong upward trajectory.
Right, sending money between people.
Exactly. As people become more comfortable with digital transactions in all aspects of their lives, the demand for seamless and instant ways to send and receive money directly with each other will likely just keep increasing. Think about splitting bills with friends or sending money to family members. Mobile wallets are making this incredibly easy.
So the underlying tech is becoming more advanced, and the way we're using these digital wallets is also becoming more interconnected and sort of versatile. Now, this is clearly a competitive market, a lot of players involved, isn't it? Who are some of the major companies we see in the global mobile wallet arena?
Oh, it's a very dynamic and competitive landscape. You've got a mix of well-established global players and also emerging regional powerhouses. Our sources highlight key companies like Apple Inc., PayPal Holdings Inc., Amazon Web Services Inc. Interesting, they're in there.
Yeah, AWS.
Visa Inc., American Express, Google Inc., Airtel, MasterCard, Alipay, Samsung, and even AT&T.
Wow.
This diverse list really shows how many different types of companies, from tech giants to financial service providers to telecommunications firms, are all vying for a piece of this market.
It's a fascinating mix of players, all bringing their own strengths and perspectives, I guess. Our sources also pointed out some interesting recent collaborations, didn't they?
Yes, they did. For example, back in November 2023, we saw a pretty significant partnership between PayPay and Alipay Plus partner app.
Okay, what was the goal there?
This collaboration aims to drastically expand the merchant coverage for global visitors in Japan who are using Alipay Plus partner apps. It basically allows them to pay at a much wider range of stores that accept PayPay QR codes.
Ah, so making it easier for tourists.
Exactly. It's a great example of different platforms working together to enhance convenience for international travelers.
That kind of interoperability seems really key to making mobile wallets truly seamless on a global scale. What was the other notable partnership mentioned?
Also, in November 2023, TerraPay and Small World Money Transfer announced a strategic agreement. This one's focused on improving mobile wallet services in Senegal.
Okay, how so?
This partnership will enable individuals in the EU and the UK who use Small World Money Transfer to send remittances directly to Wave Wallet accounts in Senegal.
Ah, so streamlining remittances again.
Precisely.
Mm.
It really highlights the crucial role mobile wallets are playing in facilitating those international money transfers, making it more efficient and potentially more affordable for people to support their families abroad.
Those examples really underscore how these technologies are not just about convenience in your local store, but they're also having a tangible impact on global commerce and personal finance.
Exactly. These partnerships really illustrate the ongoing innovation and the drive to expand the reach and the functionality of mobile wallets across different geographies and, frankly, for a wider range of use cases.
Well, this has been a truly insightful deep dive into the global mobile wallet market. It's abundantly clear that we're on the cusp of, well, a period of significant growth and transformation in how we handle our finances. To quickly recap the key takeaways.
Yeah, I think the main thing is the mobile wallet market is indeed on a trajectory of really substantial expansion. It's primarily driven by the increasing ubiquity of smartphones and, of course, the continued growth of e-commerce.
Right.
And while APAC currently leads the market, significant growth is really anticipated across all regions. Both proximity, tapping your phone, and remote payment methods are experiencing robust growth, catering to a wide array of consumer needs and preferences.
And with that in mind, here's a final thought for you, our listener, to consider. Given these rapid advancements and the widespread global adoption of mobile wallets, how might they evolve to integrate even more deeply into our daily lives beyond just making payments by, say, the year 2033? What potential shifts could we see in societal interactions and economic structures as our digital wallets become even more central to our routines? It's maybe no longer just about how we pay, it's potentially about how we interact with the entire world around us. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.